Renee, 67. I love Renee. She's wearing a tracksuit, and she does a little cheer for him, and I wrote it down. Gary, you're the man. If you like my ass, you can throw it in my can. Yay! Still open for business.
Yeah, and that's really encouraging to see. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Bad TV, short for Bad Television. I'm Dylan, saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Great to be here once again.
It is so great to be here. You know, I thought about introing the show with a new kind of tagline.
Okay.
I've fallen and I can't get up. But I thought, you know, that... I don't want to start things
My
off.
wife said we need to stay away from that stuff.
I know. Because what show are we covering today, Patrick?
The Golden Bachelor.
The Golden Bachelor. What a euphemism that is, huh?
Mm-hmm.
My God.
I think it serves two purposes. One, the golden years where you're getting elderly, but also it kind of puts kind of a shine on him being golden. You know, he's perfect Gary.
You know what? I got to say, Gary's got rizz.
He's got rizz.
Gary's got rizz, man. I mean, this old Hoosier knows how to spit. Mm-hmm. But listen, we have had a very tumultuous history with this show.
We've quit it twice, so technically Mickey Mouse gets to make fun of us.
Yeah, absolutely. But also it would behoove him to not, because we're in kind of like an abusive relationship with this show. We always come back. We always think things are going to be good again. And before you know it, you know, we're drinking too much and we have a bruise here or there. You know, it's just not good for anybody.
Too much.
Hopefully it's different this time. Pat, we got to jump into our, what do we even?
Wow, it's been so long.
It's been so long.
Is it roses?
That's just pots.
Okay.
Yeah. But before we get into our pots, what do we like? Should we use like
should we use canes?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say titanium hips, but that was way too convoluted. Yeah, no, canes is great.
All right.
But yeah, we have public service announcements to get out of the way. Number one, Love is Blind. Behind a paywall.
Yep, patreon.com/another podcast network. Just watched what they dropped on us this week. I have mixed feelings about it. Regardless, it will be entertaining hearing us talk about it. So give us $5. And by the way, that adds up to about 15 more shows a week. And it's behind a paywall. Dylan and I can really let it rip back there.
Yeah, we let it rip, and I'm excited to let it rip because what Nick and Vanessa are doing to the audience of Love is Blind is nothing short of criminal. Mm-hmm. We are going to be recapping episodes 5 and 6 with my baby sister Ruby. Bad TV fans know her well. Anything else?
I believe that's it. But you did trigger a thought for me. When you name a show, like say it's called Group Sex, and you're like, oh, I'm going to watch a show called Group Sex, and it has 1.5 participants, maybe you should shut down production and not continue to film the show.
Try again. Like if we were doing The Golden Bachelor, and they picked a 21-year-old as the Bachelor, and then they started filming, and they were like, well, this guy's not old enough. Stop shooting.
Stop shooting.
You know?
But Nick and Vanessa don't do that.
No, they do not. They're too drunk. All right, so we have to get into our canes. Pat, how many canes would you give this?
Dylan, get ready. Strap in.
What kind of cane is it? Is it a dignified cane that perhaps a saber could be sheathed in, or is it one of the... Okay.
Let's make it a cool one.
Okay, yeah.
Something that Keanu Reeves would carry around, pretending like he's got a limp or something, and then there's a fucking gun in there.
Yeah, there's a bazooka in it. Or what is the movie with Taron Killam and all the English people? The Clocks.
The Clocks? I never saw
Somebody
that.
like, he has sex in a cave somewhere.
Not familiar.
Gosh. I think Ray Fiennes is in it. They've done so many of them. You give your canes. I'm going to look this up.
Okay. All right, Dylan, this is going to take a minute here. I'm not just going to go liked it. 40 canes. I want to talk about The Bachelor and us leaving Bachelor and coming back. I want Mickey Mouse in ABC television and its evil owner, Disney, to know you should learn something from a 1-hour format. This show moved very quickly. There were no parts of the show that I feel could have been edited out.
Yeah.
And it was wildly entertaining. And dare I say, it left me wanting more.
Yep.
Which is the way that you should feel when you're watching a television show that you supposedly like.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be staring at your phone because you're in hour 2 of it. Do you understand?
Yeah. The Kingsman, by the way.
Okay. Second thought.
It's a cool Canes and the Kingsman.
First off, I'm going to complain a little bit. You have such disregard for this show, ABC, that you didn't even tie it in. I have my DVR set to record Bachelor. My wife alerted me at 8:20. She said, hey, I think I looked. I don't think it's recording. And I lost my mind.
How dare you?
It was recording Paradise, those Losers in Paradise, but it was not recording the Golden Bachelor.
Does anyone know who Charity picked? Does anybody know the answer to that?
Does anybody care?
And did she get a dialect coach? Because I don't want to be nasty. I don't want to be nasty. That voice, though. I've talked about it before. It's South Philly by way of Maryland. I don't remember.
I just remember she's a really pretty, intelligent person.
Gorgeous, intelligent, beautiful.
Probably a bad picker, though.
Yeah.
They all are. By the way, we didn't get suckered into recapping that season. That's over here. That's at least one check mark on our side.
Yeah, fuck you, Mickey.
Okay, so what made the show popular for basically the first 10 years, old Patty watched with all the different girlfriends I had through that decade,
sure,
was I believed in the emotional, basically I believed in the participants, that they were actually here to find love.
Was that a move? Were you trying to get hot? Were you trying? I
loved watching it.
Okay.
I did. It was groundbreaking television back then. Of course, now we've seen 10,000 versions of it. Okay. I'll wrap this up.
No. Sorry.
So we believed in the journey. Then Instagram got invented. And I'd say that was partly to blame for ruining the show.
Yeah.
Secondly, it got redundant and boring. But how do you get people to come back and be into this show? You care about the journey. Gary and all the participants on this show, I believe them that they actually are here to find love. Mm-hmm. Why? Because there's only 2 times.
So they're dying.
Well, that's part of it, Dylan. Yeah. Urgency with the imminent death.
Right.
Okay? Or 4 years out of drinking all your dinner through a straw.
Yeah.
Okay. There's 2 times in a human being's lifespan where they say what they really think. Mm-hmm. When you're a toddler. My daughter just told me the other day she doesn't like Quentin and she wants him to leave the house.
That is her infant brother, for anybody who isn't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Old people that are going to die soon have been there, fucking done that, and they will tell it to you real. For those reasons, this is an amazing show.
Yeah.
I love all the cast. Dare I say, first 5 minutes, I shed a tear. They got me, those bastards playing that song from the 60s. I love it. I'm in 100 canes.
100 canes?
100 canes.
My gosh, Pat, that's a lot of canes.
I understand.
That's an army of canes.
I get it.
Well, I think the first scene is really kind of telling about what we're going to get this season. And it's very informative towards my canes and my pots, because we begin the show at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, as the elderly are awake at that hour. And we see Gary putting on a hearing aid. And it is this kind of oddball sincerity that does not work with chuggy basics like Tyler Cameron and Matt James and Charity and Becca Kufrin. They do these odd, tropey things with those children that make the show so laughably unaware that it's almost enraging.
Mm-hmm. But you don't want to see Nick Viall in the shower 14 times?
No.
Neither did I.
But when you're doing it with people of a certain age, it gives it a more best in show kind of vibe. Like, it's still laughable how pathetic the sincerity is, because it's The Bachelor. There's no room for that here. This is a process devoid of really any heart But with this, it could be a little bit different. And because of that, these things can bring a little levity. You can laugh a little easier and not roll your eyes and throw the remote across the room. You know what I mean? And for that reason, I give it 92 Ks.
Well said.
Yeah.
I will say this. There is one issue. Some of the thoughties...
I think Kathy's a real big bitch.
Oh, I called her the demon. She looks like she lives in a cave and eats people, like that movie, The Descent. She's always lurking around corners like, who's he talking to?
Yeah.
She looks like the old woman that she doesn't give Halloween candy out.
She's beautiful.
Oh, she's an awesome person. Hey,
she's just a little bit of a mean girl.
Right. Well, who knows? I haven't fully met her yet. But one note, though, Dylan, I do take issue with the show. Gary lives in Indiana, and I saw where a number of these participants were from. Not anywhere near Indiana.
Not going to work.
The way, that life goes, at this point, you have grandchildren, you have extended families. It's very unlikely anybody's going to move to that goddamn forsaken place.
But, and here we go with the other wrinkle of the elderly. I mean, we have so many. This is like, there are these kind of fractals that are going to open up that we didn't even recognize could be there. But with these people being close to being put out to pasture, perhaps a New Jerseyite could see beauty in living in the flatlands of Indiana. You know what I mean?
My mom just turned 80. She's looking for a house in North Carolina. She's never lived there a day in her life.
Exactly. You know, maybe they are ready for kind of, I don't know.
A new beginning, Dylan.
A new beginning, a calmer way of life. But realtors and dance instructors in San Diego, I mean, it's just not
How about
good.
that one Prince wrote a song about?
I can't wait to get to her, and no, he didn't. All right. So the hearing aid is on, and we begin to...
we get a look back on their 40-year love affair with Tony.
We get some sad stuff straight out of the gate. Cat Stevens plays, and we find out about his ex-wife.
Well, first, though, we get...
not his ex-wife, his...
widow.
His late wife, I mean to say. They did not break up. She died.
Yeah. Well, I loved seeing all the pictures of their journey. You know, you got to see pictures of them in the 70s when they met, all the weird wardrobes in the 80s. We see pics of them building a family, I would assume, in the early 90s. And then in the 2000s, Tony joined the cast of Saturday Night Live to play Pat.
Yeah. You know, you shouldn't speak. You shouldn't... you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but I thought it was so funny when he lifted up the picture of what looked to be a dental hygienist, and I was like, what if he just, we never talked about that ever again? He just picked that picture up, and it's just a person that he's never met, and then he goes to the mansion. But no, that's his wife, who he loved, who died of a very rare bacterial infection very, very quickly.
That bacteria will kill you, people. You start not feeling good. That girl in the Triangle of Sadness, she was 29 years old. They took her out.
Yep, very, very sad. He has survivor's remorse. The whole thing is so heartbreaking, and I feel for Gare. I really feel for Gare. The heartbreak caused him to lose his hearing.
Yeah, you know who doesn't share that with you? My evil wife, Cherie.
Yep.
She says to me, when Gary's staring off that balcony of that beautiful home near the water, she goes, I'd be doing a victory lap. I go, what are you talking about? She says, all the insurance money. I go, hey.
Yeah.
What, you're going to think that about me?
Listen, if she's got a point. You know, if you do have a life insurance policy and you are planning on killing your partner, and which Gary was, and they get some kind of rare bacterial infection, the relief that must wash over you, knowing that you didn't have to come kind of saddling up close to criminality. And some would say that murder isn't close to criminality. Some would say that it flat out is, but we're not here to debate that.
No.
We're not here to
You know, all
discuss
jokes aside, though, Dylan, if I passed on, my wife, I think she'd be sad for about 6 months, and she would be living the time of her life.
No. I think she would be sad for 3 months, and then maybe even less. And then there would be these little kind of nucleates of pain that would explode every once in a while. And those nucleates would be triggered by your trapped energy haunting her. Oh, by the way, saw Talk to Me. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
It's not that good.
People, stop.
It's fine.
It's fine. Enough with that.
Also, I don't like gross shit.
Yeah.
I don't like people banging their heads on shit and breaking their face and stuff. It's just all to reaching in, grabbing their eyeballs and stuff. I don't like that.
I don't either, man.
It's yucky. But back to this show, we do the PR tour, right?
Well, right before there, we meet his daughters. And I want to say this. The daughters are extremely supportive. And I believe they are. That will be until the day that one of these people that he met on TV move into that house. Gary, got some advice for you. Sell the fucking house. Okay? Yeah. Sell the house and move into a new place. Otherwise, the knives will come out. Trust me.
I wanted to apologize for that big breath.
I didn't even hear it. I was talking.
Really? Mm-hmm. It's kind of a big breath.
That's okay.
So he does the PR rounds. He goes to GMA. He looks at Michael Strahan and gets into that kind of hypnotized state one is in, because there's a kind of space-time continuum in that gap between his front two teeth. Mm-hmm. And then we get shots of, very random Bachelor stuff, like a young girl, quite literally like a 9th grader at a fairgrounds, telling him that she believes that he's going to find love. This is the kind of stuff that the show puts on television, and I'm like, how could that possibly be a thing that ever got filmed? And but it's better because it's Gare. It's Gare Bear. So, God, do you have dossiers?
Well, I have a little bio stuff, as I thought it'd be fun, because let's face it, this is the way the show was, a condensed version of what the first episode always is. Get to meet some of the contestants.
Yep.
We have an extended limo exit and a little chatter in the mansion, and then we end the episode with a rose ceremony.
I don't want to go back to the doldrums, the dark days, but that they ever thought that they were deserving of 2 hours of television for this show makes me sick to my stomach. I
agree.
Especially the first episode. This year we have 75 eligible bachelors to
75?
find Katie. Is Katie going to pick any of them? No, not really. She's going to fuck a Canadian guy with a giant head for 2 weeks, and then we're going to forget that they exist. So why did we watch 25 hours? Not sure. But everything is ramping up to get going. And then, unfortunately, we have a little vestige of the franchise that we sadly need to address, and that's quarterback.
Yes.
Quarterback asks him how he's feeling. He says nervous, and quarterback says, "Why are you nervous?" "I don't know. You're weird. I'm on a television show right now. There's 50 cameras and a lot of lights, and it's 2:00 in the morning. Why did we start shooting at this hour? I'm not sure, but I'm nervous about all of it." "All right, man. Well, you're going to do great. Go to the SEC network or something, Palmer. Get out of here." God, I wish Regis Philbin was alive. He would be perfect for this.
Bring back Spade.
Yeah, Spade. Spade would crush the Golden Bachelor. My God, the jokes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, so what I think we should do here, Dill, if you don't mind, as we go through Gary's suitors, do we call female suitors as well?
No.
Okay.
I think let's call them Gary's bitches.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we get through these bees, I'll color a little bit of their background, because I don't think the show did a good enough job doing that.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Well, these exits are going to be a little bit more muted. We do not have 28-year-olds with Adderall problems screaming in the limos. These women are exhausted already. So there's going to be some excitement, but it's not going to be the hammed up screaming that we usually get. Edith is out first. Stunningly beautiful woman.
Oh, my God. And I believe a Latina, despite the old lady name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The rizz is off the charts right here. I see it in Gare Bear. How a man could have this kind of game, having gone through what he's gone through, that being a tedious, long marriage and a traumatic ending. He says, this is a first. I'm the first Golden Bachelor, and you're the first woman out of the limo. And it's just like this little thing that just makes her light up, and it makes him light up as well. That's the thing about the Rizz. You got to believe in the bullshit you're selling,
yes.
you know, and
Well, you
he
do
really does. Yeah.
All right, so a little bit about Edith. She's from Downey, California, which is miles and miles away from Indiana. She's been living in the warm weather. I don't think she's going to be moving there.
Downey? She lives in Downey?
Downey. Mm-hmm. It's about an hour south of where we sit.
Yeah, there's a lot of, when you drive to Downey, you're like, there's a lot of like fulcrum-like machinery pulling shit up out of the ground in Downey.
Yes.
A lot of black smoke.
There's some nice areas too. Well, anyway, fun fact about Edith, she makes beautiful hand-painted birthday cards for family and friends. She's been retired as a realtor, and when she's not busy, she loves to hang out with her family, golf, and salsa dance.
Yeah.
60 years old. She's my number one pick.
Me too. Straight out of the gate, I love Edith.
And I love this too, because this is kind of hot. When they do the little confetti thing, she hands him one, she has one.
Yeah.
They pop them, and she goes, I'm glad we started with a bang. Double entendre. I love it.
She's talking about fucking him.
Love it.
Yep, love that. Next out is a woman who is yelling the name of her dying friend, Roberta. Her name is Ellen. It's sweet, but it kind of makes her schizophrenic. And also, we get a package on her. She's got a good swing. Happy that she's out there. God help me if I ever got behind her on a golf course, I'd blow my brains out.
Well, there's a couple things here. She lives in Florida now, but that grating accent, I'd assume she's from somewhere in the upper part of the East Coast. She notes that Gary and her share a love and passion for pickleball, but I don't think that will get them there. And also, I think he might lose the batteries on that hearing aid, so he doesn't have to listen to that thing all day.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What did you say? Roberta's watching. What did you say? Sandra from Atlanta is up next. She begins doing a Zen calming ritual, and I was very, very concerned. And then she starts saying, I believe she starts saying fuck over and over and over again.
I have that note here. No, it was eat my ass.
Oh, it was eat my ass.
Yes.
Well, regardless of how vile it was and how foul it was, that immediately brought her up onto my Mount Rushmore alongside Edith. I love this lady. What's her name?
Okay. Sandra. Okay, so a couple details about her. By the way, she's our oldest contestant. She's 75.
Oh, really?
Fantastic.
She looks so great.
I think they touched on this, from Georgia. And this isn't her first stint on television.
Oh, yeah, she does. It was so awkward when she got out. She was like, I'm 75. And Gary was like, well, black don't crack. It was like, oh, God, I don't know why you said that.
Now, I could kick it with Sandra. She's a huge NFL fan, so I know how we'll spend our Sundays.
Yeah.
Retired after an executive assistant for, I don't know, some firm or something. Anyway, she's retired now. And
she's a retired executive assistant. Yeah.
That's it.
I climbed the corporate ladder in that I didn't leave the first rung. And then I retired. You know, some people are just they find value in other things. You know, this capitalistic grind is not for everybody, and I don't think it should be for anybody, really. I love Sandra, and I don't think you guys would get along because she's a Falcons fan, you're a Patriots fan. There's a little bit of tension there.
Well, the Falcons always suck. I think I'd be fine.
Okay. So next up is Leslie,
yes.
Minneapolis dancing teacher. Red flags, red flags. Her claim to fame is that Prince wrote a song about her. I'll say it again. No, he did not.
It's called Sexy Dancer, and it's not one of his more popular ones. Prince was a very prolific songwriter. I did a deep dive. It's kind of fun when music artists die. You guys should do this too. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Start from their first record and just play on through. I did that with Prince in April of 2016 upon his passing.
Yeah.
And boy, did I learn he had
some bad songs.
Bad entire records.
Yeah.
Multiple. Like
right.
They should have never seen the light of day. But anyway, one of those songs, Sexy Dancer, it's kind of like, oh, you sexy dancer.
Yeah.
Sexy. sexy.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Right.
But, not all of us can have a song written about us called My Sharona or something, some of the greats, right?
Right.
So, anyway.
Yeah, if it was more specific like that, like actually naming someone, I think that you could with confidence say that the song was written about you. But if you are...
Oh, Leslie.
Right. 867-5309. That's about that telephone number. It's expressly said. But with somebody who is in music who has backup dancers all the fucking time for him, I think you'd be hard-pressed to know for certain that song was written about you. I don't know. I love people that love to dance, and I'm also very leery of people that love to dance. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way. And also, I'm weirded out by people that are a little too enthusiastic about holidays. Kathy's a Christmas enthusiast. Other fun fact, she was at some point a professional figure skater. So I wonder if she was in the Olympics.
I don't.
Okay.
I do not wonder that.
Now, what I think maybe we just roll through...
Well, really quickly, she was married twice in 7 years.
Yeah, I don't think that dings her. My mom was married 4 times in 15 years.
No, I don't think that dings her at all, but it does add to the tapestry of her being an absolute fucking nut job. Let's move on to the next one.
I believe we have Marina. We do a little montage.
Yeah.
We get Christina, Joan.
Joan. Love that name. God, I love the name Joan.
All right. So Joan is a smoke show. She's a private school administrative executive. She's from Maryland. This is what I'll say about her. She missed her calling to be on the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her on there. She looks like she belongs there.
Yeah.
She's happiest when she's at the beach spending time with her family. Fun fact about her, she likes to visit historical museums.
Boring. What is a historical museum?
Well, what's that big one in New York City that they make all the movies about at night at the museum?
A natural history museum. Mm-hmm. That's a good one, but I mean, I don't know if there. Listen, I understand there's a lot of history in Gettysburg, but I don't know. That museum wouldn't really. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'd be fascinated by it. I just feel like it's one story and it's not that interesting.
I'd rather go there. For our field trips when I was in Massachusetts, we go to Sturbridge Village, which was where a bunch of Amish people lived, and you'd see like women churning butter that had hair on their face.
Yeah. No, we've talked about the horror of Sturbridge Village before. You ever go to the harbor where they dumped all the tea?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah, where you got to see the USS Constitution.
The ship. Mm-hmm. Still floating, huh?
Oh, of course, yes. But they were gonna. They ran out of money one year, and they were threatening to pull it out into the bay and put a torpedo in it and sink it. It's just cheaper to have it down in the water, you know?
Is it really still floating?
Yeah.
They must have had to renovate that.
Well, I shared this story many, many years ago. Some fucking douchebag was, in charge of giving the tours, and I, in the first grade, we got a tour in there, and he says, "Any questions?" And I said, "This boat is pretty big." And he said, "That's not a question, dummy."
That's right.
And you want to know how things stick in my craw? That happened 41 years ago.
Yeah,
I still see that man's face, and I hate him.
Yeah, speaking of humiliations suffered over the Revolutionary War, I hate that cunt Mrs. Goodsight because in the 5th grade I said, "Why do the British wear red?" And she just laughed at me. And because she was the leader of the classroom, the entire class laughed at me. That was a stupid question. I don't think it was a stupid question. It might not have been a really important question to ask, but
Mrs. Goodsight, huh?
Yeah, and I'm sorry for using the C, but my gosh, was she horrible. She was just a wretched woman.
Be funny if she wore glasses, given her name.
She did not wear glasses. She had perfect eyesight. She could glass a hill like the best of them. All right, so Natasha.
Natasha, yes.
That's a lot. They do a very strange thing later on in the episode that feels like a kind of hospice morale boosting routine where they both laugh together. I'm not sure that's going to work out.
A couple beats on her.
Yeah.
It's interesting. She's a pro-aging coach and a motivational speaker in New York City.
Yep.
And fun fact about her, she likes to wear bell bottoms. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Peggy, says that she couldn't breathe for 2 hours when she saw him.
Yep.
So I know that we're dealing with older people, but we have a reanimated person here, because everybody knows that unless you're David Blaine, you can't hold your breath for 2 hours. That's crazy. You'll die.
That's a good point.
And how she's walking around with this much enthusiasm, it reeks of some kind of necromancy. So I'm scared of her. I don't like her at all.
Well, some fun info about her. She's 69, Peggy. And dental hygienist. She retired, lasted about a year. She got so fucking bored at home, she went back to working. Now she volunteers cleaning services, dental cleaning services. So this is a good one right here.
Yeah, great one. Kathy is up next.
She scares me.
Scares me too. She's got Dianne Feinstein vibes to me. Rest in power,
she's dead.
Dianne. Yeah, rest in power.
Yeah, she scares me. I don't know if it was that bad facelift, but I'm going to keep my eye on that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe spend some time with your family instead of dying doing favors for corporate America. You'll be happier. And I love Dianne. I mean, she's a servant to the state. As Chuck Schumer said today, we lost a giant.
I agree. Look what she's done for the beautiful state of California.
All right, so we're staying up all night.
I first thought
it's unbelievable that they did this to these people.
Unless Disney was able to put a gigantic 100-foot tarp over that mansion, I would have thought, you can't do this. They got to film this during the day.
Yeah,
you can't keep them up till the early morning.
It's inhumane to do this.
I do have a theory. I think they all went to bed after the limo exits and stepped back in the mansion for the rose ceremony.
I don't think so. This production crew is like the Ringling Brothers. They'll whip fucking lions. They'll do all of it. I think that they really subjected these people to that. And I don't know. I mean, listen, the elderly don't need as much sleep as the youth do. But, or so I've heard. But if I stay up all night, I'm fucked for 2 days, 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude.
What's going to happen to these people?
I'm older than you. I feel it even more. I can't imagine being 20 years older than me.
Unbelievable. All right. So we first get to Teresa.
It's her birthday.
Oh, no. We're still in the, we're still very much in the limos.
Yeah, we're bouncing around. We've missed a couple people.
Yeah. Who
Pam
cares?
licked his ear, admits that in her house she was hungry and wanted to eat him or something. I don't know. Oh, when she went into the mansion, she said to the girls, when I licked his ear, I just wanted to eat him up. Something like that.
Okay.
She's a big girl.
What?
Huh? Bring on the 1 stars. Go fuck off.
All right, so all right, so Teresa comes out. She's like, I have my birthday soon. Okay. I don't think she was naked, was she?
No. They showed it from the camera facing down. She was wearing like a negligee, I think is the word.
Beautiful. First kiss, an appropriate kiss for these two. Then we get April. She's 65 with fresh eggs.
Good one. She's had 3 men that have loved her in her lifetime. She didn't mention if she loved them back.
Gary, run.
This one's too much for him. She's a therapist from Florida. She's going to know how to fuck with his head. Gary, you don't need this. You need someone.
You're not cut out for it. No. You can't go up against this person.
These are your golden years. This is your, you should be enjoying this, not have someone try and pick your brain.
Right.
All right, now
you eat Jell-O when you get older. You don't eat, I don't know. It's like fucking pie. I don't.
All right, Renee's
supposed to be easy to consume.
Renee's my favorite. By the way, I wanted to say this at the top. We'll get to Chippy. Hey, Jimmy,
get your Aunt Chippy the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. Oh, God, this guy. Okay, Renee.
Well, I love Jimmy.
Renee, 67. I love Renee. She's wearing a tracksuit, and she does a little cheer for him, and I wrote it down. Gary, you're the man. If you like my ass, you can throw it in my can. Yay! Still open for business.
Yeah, and that's really encouraging to see. That's really encouraging to see.
Yeah, the sad part is if you do, you might take my rectum with you.
Oh, Patrick. Come on. No, I would imagine that really anything nether would be, I don't know, maybe a little bit easier just because of what gravity's done. The mouths of caves open up over time.
Yes, they do.
Why do we need to go there? Gary, you're the man. You can stick it in my can. I mean, she didn't say that. So Kathy's popping off. She's being a bit of a judgy bitch to everybody. And I'm excited to have a villain because it's going to be very different with a 65-year-old being the villain. You know, it's just going to be completely different. And it makes perfect sense because, I mean, you think of any like great fantasy story or you know, I mean, insert Hero of the Thousand Faces thing here. Like if the villain, the antagonist, is some ancient fucking Kathy, you know, it's more threatening to have wisdom on the side of evil than it is to
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it makes for a better villain.
Right.
They've lived life.
Yeah. I mean, gosh. I can't remember his name, and it makes me sad because I'm such a massive fan of the Mummy franchise. But the guy that looks like Billy Zane but isn't Billy Zane, who plays the Mummy in the Mummy.
Well, I don't think he's a famous person, but I know who you're talking about.
Amon-Ra or something like that. I mean, that guy's 3,000 years old. He's a really imposing villain. Mm-hmm. Hates cats. All right. So I'm very comfortable with 6 inches, she says. Great line, Kris Jenner. That is
Kris Jenner.
It was not she. I should have specified. It was Susan who says that she can take his cock, and it is Kris Jenner.
I believe the quote is, if you're not packing a beaver basher, it's okay. Next up.
Oh, man.
The mother of Matt James. The worst Bachelor ever. She clearly, Dylan, by the way, was a fan of the TV sitcom Golden Girls in 1985.
Yeah.
She went into Supercuts. She went into Supercuts in 1985 and said, "Give me the B author." Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road, back again.
We're gonna have a lot of this season, and I'm so excited for it.
Men do this, but women shouldn't. Okay, I've always said, when you see a guy in his, later years, whatever pants he's wearing, whatever his fucking haircut, however what facial things he's doing, that was his best year of getting laid.
Yep.
When I look at Matt James's mother, women are not supposed to hold on haircuts from 38 years ago.
I think that she looks as though she was badly electrocuted, and as a result of it cannot take on any more food and is slowly waiting to the end. And that's mean. I acknowledge that is fucked up, but I just can't stand Matt James so much that I'm taking this.
Well, she created him.
God.
He's a jerk.
And also, what's the fucking point of this woman? This is the kind of stuff that the Bachelor franchise does that drives me nuts. So you're kind of peripherally related to the show. I mean, I know you've been on it, but what the fuck does that matter? There's no merit or value to that at all. Get the fuck out of here.
Points for you, Gary. You kicked her the fuck out on night 1. Good for you.
There is someone who walks up next, and she says...
Sylvia, 64. She says, I heard you...
Take it easy with this one, okay? Take it easy.
So she says, I heard
this is like, and sorry for interrupting, but it's, it's a lot like, Alexa from Love is Blind
I hate her.
thinking that she looks like Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was Irina, actually.
Irina, excuse me.
But Sylvia, she says to Gary, I heard your celebrity crush is Penelope Cruz, so here I am.
All right, who do we have next?
Chippy, 84 years old. Jimmy Kimmel, I think you're a nice guy, but you push yourself, you insert yourself into too many things in your family. Aunt Chippy shouldn't have been here. This was elder abuse, in my opinion. The poor thing sleeping on the goddamn couch all night.
Yeah, and I don't even know if she was on the dais to be picked. She was like there to do like, listen, this is another bizarre ABC integration that makes zero sense. And I mean zero. Chippy is evidently there to bust balls, but this woman is not like talent. I mean, she's not going to walk in there like fucking Don Rickles and start tearing everybody apart. I mean, she can mess around with Sal and Jimmy, but they're family, stick a camera on her. She's getting better at it, but this isn't ever going to work.
No.
It's just not ever going to work.
And it didn't. And by the way, what you saw was a good edit.
And an even worse decision by Jimmy was to have Kai, the murderous hitchhiker, on the show. Because that guy...
What, bam!
Boom, boom, boom. I mean, the guy is fucking out of his mind.
He killed someone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so Faith shows up on a motorcycle. She says...
live fast, die young.
Live fast, die young. Faith, you got to get off that thing. Because, listen, let's say you're taking a Zumba class and you fall. Really horrific things can end up happening. Now let's put you on a motorcycle going 40 miles an hour in between gridlock traffic. Somebody switches over and you're
a pancake.
You're a pancake.
Yeah.
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 But kind of like a latke in that the pancake was... that state of pancake was acquired through a grater. It's not, it's just really gross stuff.
Dylan, I was thinking about this. Motorcycles, obviously, I don't think kill a lot of elderly people, but you know what does? Bathtubs. Can you imagine, you're thinking, what are all the things that could kill me in the world? And it's staring right back at you every time you take a leak. You're like, that fucking thing can take me out? Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you have a bathtub you have a bathtub?
Of course I do.
Really? That's nice.
Thanks.
I would like the option of a bath every once in a while. I don't have a bath.
This house has been done for exactly 6.5 months. My wife insisted on a bathtub. She has yet to take a bath.
And that's frustrating.
Big time.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That's the kind of thing that drives you to captured thoughts, evil thoughts. So anyways, let's the games begin.
Gary
Let's them begin.
Dylan, it's worth mentioning that all the women, unlike the other versions of this franchise, are extremely supportive of one another. While we do have that ghoul, Kathy, lurking in the darkness, the rest of them are all just kind of having fun with it,
Yeah.
And it's not to take away that they're not taking it seriously. I think they just are of a mature demeanor that they understand. There are stakes, but you don't need to treat it like a bloodthirsty competition.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a couple more wrinkles to the palms than others. They know that they're above the squabbling. I hope it does come, but you say that they're there to have a good time, and I really do think they are there to have a good time. But you know who's not? Gare Bear.
Oh no,
he walks in drinking a big glass of orange juice. Gary, I better have fucking vodka in it, or I'm going to get really pissed off, okay? You're already horrifically boring, okay? You've lived not an interesting life in any way, shape, or form. You're a handsome guy, but there's got to be more. And if you're sober, ooh, my gosh. I just can't support it.
I understand.
Chicken Lady pulls him first. April. She gives him a calendar. It is only her. It is only the month of April. And with her being a therapist, she has deduced that he is a nice guy. That's what you go to college for, kids. That's how you do it right there. Mm-hmm. So Roberta's buddy Ellen is up next. she has his attention, and weirdly enough, I kind of ship them. But this is where I was like, Jersey and Indiana, not going to work.
Absolutely not.
Not going to work. I feel like, I honestly feel like Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, and Indiana could work better than Jersey and Indiana.
I think I'm with you on that.
You know, there's too much pride in Jersey. They like the way they do things. I'm not sure though. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Natasha and Gary do a hot. This is one of those things where you see people almost in Elysium with medicine balls in hampers, and they have drumsticks, and they're beating the medicine balls in unison, and they all have a smile on their face, and it makes you sad because there's somebody leading it, and it's kind of, or that person is Natasha. And I just think when I see things like this, kill me before it even comes close. Because
get a bathtub.
Seriously, it's like introductory improv games, but you're all doing it because you're going to die soon. It's way worse.
My granddaughter signed me up for it. I just thought it'd be fun.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, Natasha, no, we got that.
Well, I was going to say, she says he's in good shape, and she's pretty sure if she fucks him, he won't die. Those were her words. Sandra, 75, they have a good laugh over killing a cockroach. Of course, the mansion has cockroaches.
Yep. How could it not? It's got cockroaches. It has scorpions. It has rats. This is a condemned place.
Marina's up next. She's 60. That's our Indian educator. She wants to swim in his eyes. I think she's gorgeous, but I, of course, have a little propensity to find Indian women attractive.
Yeah.
All right. Kris Kardashian comes up. She's from Pennsylvania. They bond over the song At Last by Etta James.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, did you know Etta James was not the first person to sing that song? She recut it in 1960 or whatever.
Was Etta James recruited by the CIA?
Ooh, I don't know.
Or was it somebody else? You were telling me somebody got recruited by the CIA.
Well, who was the lady that did all the French cooking shows?
Ina Garten.
Julia Child.
Oh, Julia Child. Definitely CIA. Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%. All right. So everything is the night is kind of, we're getting to a tedious level because everything is too nice, and I need some fucking claws to come out at some point eventually. It's fine that we have all of the niceties and everything's sweet, but I'm going to need Kathy to step up and clock a bitch.
Well, she will. But before we get there, we got Faith, the 61-year-old radio talk show host who picks up a goddamn guitar and serenades Gary. If you're a fan of our show, you know old Patty. This is a big no-no. Gary's a nice guy, but he absolutely hated her playing the guitar and him having to listen to this. He should have politely asked for the guitar, flung it into the trees or a cactus, whatever the foliage is there, and said, look, we don't have much time.
Could you imagine if Gary was a bad boy like that? So Teresa is up next. And you say that he didn't like it, but I know you're being facetious. I mean, he loved it. And there is a kind of gender role thing. I do think it's much worse if a guy brings out a guitar and starts forcing acoustic melodies onto somebody. But when Faith did it, I was kind of okay with it.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
I'm pretty sure he thought, hey, my hip's going to be giving out pretty soon, so never do this again.
He thinks that all the time. But Teresa is up next. She reads a note from her daughter, and things then begin to get a little hot. And the rizz is rolled out once again. He says, if I was to take a bite of this cupcake and had frosting on my lips, would you lick it off? And that's exactly what ensues. Sweet lickings. Oh, God. You know, I'm not sure, but does your tongue shrink and get like a duck tongue when you get that old? I feel like it would be dried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're still talking about Teresa and that cake, right?
Yeah.
A little confession here. She's adorable.
Oh, yeah.
If I wasn't a taken man, I'd hit it. I'd want some insurance, though, if you knock something loose up there. I don't want to be held responsible.
So I mean, if I had icing on my lip, would you help me lick it off? Gary, you dog. So we get to 5 a.m. Once again, unbelievable that they did this to these people. And it should be stated that the first impression rose does not go to the one who received the smut and the rizz from that dog Gare. No, it went to
Faith, who looks like Sonia Morgan. And he gives her a rose, and it says she makes him feel special, and then they kiss.
Sonia, get rid of the last name. Mm-hmm. I mean, you'd lose your brand a little bit, but I think for Sonia it would be good if she just got her maiden name back. Mm-hmm. She was chewed up and spit out by that family. So, the sun rises again, and we get to our first of the season.
The Golden Rose Ceremony.
It's time for a golden roll call.
All right, so I don't know these ladies that well, and given our some of our commentary on some of the contestants thus far,
I've cut a lot of it.
Oh, you did?
I've cut a lot of it already.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
But we've said some horrific things about these people. And we have an uncensored tier on Patreon, but I don't even think it's going to make it to that. This is new for us. These are uncharted waters. And, you know, maybe we plucked a couple fish out of the sea that we're not supposed to be impaled. Bad metaphor.
Okay, here we go. Roll call of who gets picked. Ellen. That's, she's there.
I'm Ellen.
Teresa, front runner, in my opinion. Joan looks like she barely missed the
cutoff. Will you do us a favor? Will you yell it, and will you do it?
Well, I don't... Roll call! Here's the roll call for the Golden Bachelor. Ellen, blonde-haired lady. She's pretty hot, kind of. Yeah. Teresa, front runner. I said some things that Dylan probably cut out about that. About
yeah, definitely.
Joan looks like she barely missed the cutoff to be on Orange County's Housewife. Just barely missed the cutoff.
Right.
Natasha, Lisa, I don't remember her. Christina, joke. It's worth mentioning that as Kathy watches Gary make these choices, she looks more and more like that demon from that cave. Edith, Nancy, April, Jenny, don't remember her. Kathy finally gets the final rose. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Marina, Peggy, the old.
Yeah, she's a horn dog. She said
no one's been named Peggy since 1955, right? They cut that off.
Yeah, no.
Okay. If I have another kid, I'm going to name him Doris.
I love Doris. I had an Aunt Doris who was quite a bitch. Great Aunt Doris.
Final rose. It goes to Kris Kardashian.
Yeah. And we say goodbye to Jumpsuit.
Oh, he made a major misstep. There was, God, who was that?
We say goodbye to Matt James's mother.
Good.
We say goodbye to Aunt Chippy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so, all right. So when originally they showed the who the cast was, he also said goodbye to Anna. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked Anna.
Yeah.
She's a nutritionist from New Jersey. So,
yeah. 60-year-old nutritionists from Jersey are probably putting people on the grapefruit for breakfast diet. I don't think it's rich in like algae kind of that kind of vibe. You know, it's more like for breakfast you're gonna have half a grapefruit. Put a little sugar on it. I prefer Splenda. For lunch, you're gonna have saltines and a can of tuna, no mayonnaise, only mustard. For dinner, you're gonna have nothing. You're gonna go to sleep. And people pay her a lot of money because that diet works. Because it's called starving yourself. And this was just an amazing episode of television. ABC, thank you for delivering this bizarre concept that I hope America loves. You can take Bachelor in Paradise and go put it on Hulu. Nobody gives a fuck.
No one cares.
But
keep this going.
We are here for the entire season for the Golden Bachelor. I had a lot of fun.
Me too. And share the show. We're back. We're back. At least for now, until we give up on doing the show again.
Yeah. I mean,
for now,
who
enjoy.
knows? Week 7, we could just completely quit because what we're going to have to do here is talk about the elderly. And if the amount of edits that we had tonight is any indication of how challenging this is going to be, we might just say we can't. Get in the iTunes ratings, reviews, 5 stars, kind words. Love you very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.